Inoue, also known as the Monster, is one of the most feared boxers in the world. This Japanese superstar has made a living off of dominating anyone who dares to enter the ring with him.
So what is it that makes you so great?
わかりません。
Yes, you do.
まあでも正直本当にその自分のボクシングにまだまだ満足できてないというか 100% の自信がないというかだからこそここまで強くなりたいというモチベーションも高く今練習できてると思うし
Has quickly become one of the most decorated boxers in the fighting world today. With a 5'5" frame and a 67.5" reach, he is deadly.
He's vicious. The monster.
And he still holds an undefeated record today of 27-0 with 24 wins coming by knockout. His name is also up there with Alexander Usyk and Terrence Crawford as only one of the 3 male boxers in history to be named undisputed champion in 2 different weight classes in the 4-belt era. He is also the only boxer in history to hold the undisputed title at super bantamweight. His reign of terror over the boxing world began when he first turned pro back in 2012. On October 2nd, 2012, he took on Filipino national champion Quezon Omayeyo in his debut and knocked him out cold in the 4th round, bringing eyes to his name though he was still just a young prospect. After this impressive victory, he went on to fight the Thai national champion Naoya Inoue, who he also finished off early with a knockout, and number 1 ranked Japanese flyweight Yuki Sano, who he beat via TKO in the 10th round.
The winner, did you see the monster Inoue? Yeah. Do you think he's the best pound for pound, or the winner of this fight is the best fighter?
Japanese fighter is the best fighter.
Yeah.
My opinion on it, I'm nobody, but I think he's the best fighter.
After these victories, the boxing world knew his name and he was quickly given a title shot against Ryoichi Taguchi for a chance to win the Japanese light flyweight title. This was his toughest fight yet, but it showed how he could be dominant without a knockout, as he completely dominated Taguchi for a full 10 rounds, winning via a decision. With this dominant performance in his first title fight, promoters wanted his name on their card and he finally got a shot at a title on more than just a national level. While the OPBF title was not one of the big 4 belts, it was still Inoue's way of getting there and the light flyweight title was vacant. So on December 6, 2013, only a year and a half after his first fight, Inoue fought Jerson Mancio for the belt, going back to his pastime of brutal knockouts. Close to the end of the 5th round, Mancio was up against the ropes. Inoue brutally beat him up until the doctor had to call an end to the contest, giving Inoue his first belt outside of Japan, and putting his name out there even more, but this time as an international belt holder. It was clear that there was no one who could even come close to stopping Inoue, so promoters booked him to fight Adrian Hernandez on April 6, 2014 to win the WBC Light Flyweight Championship belt. He knocked him out with ease and immediately went on to defend his belt against Samartlik Kokiachim as he easily won over the judges before knocking out his opponent in the 11th round. After defeating the former champ and top contender with ease, Inoue felt like he needed more of a challenge.
I like, what's the guy from Japan?
You like Inoue?
Yeah.
Do you foresee potentially at some day you guys meeting together, maybe at a catchweight, or maybe if he keeps going up in weight?
Probably.
Yeah.
That would be like a fun fight.
Crazy.
Yeah, that would be a fun fight. Now that would be technically. That fight right there, like, man.
His high level of activity along with dominance was something that got people excited. Additionally, he was getting support from the boxing world, so he decided to move from light flyweight to move up to super flyweight. In November 2014, he was scheduled to fight Omar Andres Narvaez, who was an undefeated champ whose only loss came via decision 3 years earlier. He had also defeated his belt a whopping 27 times over 14 years, so this really stood out at Inoue's first challenge. Coming into the fight, people were excited because Inoue was a rising star, and his next step to stardom was to try to knock out a man who had never been knocked out.
The great Wilfredo Gomez in his prime was super bantamweight.
And once again, he's drawing his hands up high and then throwing a left hook and another one, and Narvaez goes down.
He went right to work and made quick work of Omar Narvaez, knocking him out in only the 2nd round of the fight, winning his 2nd title over the course of his short career. He suffered an injury while knocking out Narvaez, but that did not take anything away from what he had just done. He had just won another title, beating the most decorated boxer in this new division, and he had the right to call himself champ once again. While he recovered from his injury, he also got better and waited for the interim champ of the division to be ready to fight him. The two top contenders ended up fighting to a draw, but Inoue still fought contender Warlito Padanaz, knocking him out in the second round as well. By this time, he had earned the nickname of Monster as he blew through the challengers in his various title defenses. First, he beat David Carmano after suffering an injury in the early stages of the fight. Then he knocked out Petsbarbor and Kokiachim after 10 rounds. He was feared, and for good reason, as he mowed everyone down. He had yet to find a worthy contender, as his only 2 non-knockouts came when he was either very young or very hurt. His fourth defense would come against another worthy opponent, Kohei Kono, a fellow Japanese boxer. He was 32-10-1 and had just lost his WBA belt in his most recent fight. He made quick work of him as well, knocking him out in the 6th round after dropping him earlier in the fight. After this fight, Inoue believed that he had done enough to make an attempt at unifying the belt, but Roman Gonzalez ducked him, probably a little worried after seeing what Inoue had done to every single one of his opponents. He then went to defend his belt a 5th time, beating Ricardo Rodriguez in the 3rd round with his powerful force and punches. After 2 more easy title defenses, the Monster decided to move up another weight class to 115, the bantamweight division. Inoue had a deal to fight the WBA bantamweight champion at the time, British star Jamie McDonnell, who held a record of 29-2-1 with 13 knockouts. McDonnell stood no chance against the Japanese star, getting hurt with Inoue's left hook and eventually being ruled a knockout by the referee within the 1st round.
Looking for that right hand, looking for the left to the body as well early on. That's a danger shot for Inoue. McDonnell just grounded at the moment. Heavy left hand seemed to catch McDonnell high on the head, almost on the top of the head there, and his legs seem a little bit shaky here. A minute and a half into the 1st round, and McDonnell goes over from the left hand to the body.
After this, Inoue was ruled to be at a whole new level, and he entered the 2018-19 World Boxing Super Series, eventually defeating 20-1 Juan Carlos Payano, undefeated Emmanuel Rodriguez, and finally WBA Super Bantamweight champion Nonito Donaire in a unanimous decision.
Inoue is not only pound for pound the best in the world, Inoue is the best fighter I've ever seen. No matter what weight category or anything. I have never, ever, in the almost 60 years I've been in boxing, seen anything like Inoue.
After this fight, Inoue went on to defeat 3 more title contenders before going on his belt unification mission. His first step was to face Nonito Donaire, who he had fought before and who was currently the WBC champion. The fight was streamed on Prime Video across America and ESPN Plus as well, so it garnered a lot of attention. He went right to work once the time for fighting came. Inoue completely outclassed his opponent, beating him up in the 1st round and eventually knocking him out in a vicious fashion to keep his undefeated record.
Because the fighters are still warming up.
Nice left hook there from.
What he did to Donaire, it's unbelievable, man. And Donaire's a bad boy, dude. And the crazy thing is that those damn Reyes gloves, he was wearing pillows and he was getting those knockouts. Now he discovered the Reyes gloves. I don't think nobody gonna be able to deal with that damn punching power with the Reyes gloves. Like, you don't understand. That horsehair, and you feel that knuckle, bro, that's a different level, bro, of punching power, bro. And so when he hit Donaire, his eyes got big, I said, it's over.
After this fight, Inoue was given the title of the #1 pound-for-pound boxer by the ring, as he made history becoming the first Japanese to do so, and he still is today. After this accolade, he had a big fight coming up. He was about to face Paul Butler in a fight to unify the bantamweight belt in Tokyo, and there was an air of excitement. Before the fight, Inoue said, "I want my name to go down in international boxing history and to change Japan's boxing history." When the fight started, Inoue took control and won the first 10 rounds convincingly. In the 11th round, he got a 10 count after getting Butler up against the ropes, unifying the belt, keeping his undefeated record, and making history. He became the first Japanese fighter to hold a unified belt and was the first boxer to win all unifying belts via knockout. He then vacated all of the belts to move up once again to the super bantamweight. He quickly made his way through #1 fighter in the super bantamweight division, Stephen Fulton, and then went on to fight Marlon Tapales to unify the super bantamweight division. He went to the fight confident, knowing he could win. So when the fight came to fruition, he made light work of Tapales. Inoue doubled Tapales' punch count and ended up knocking him out in the 10th round with his powerful right hand. Since this fight, Inoue has defended his title once. He has said that he always wants to win while displaying overwhelming strength, and that is what he does. His strength along with his speed make him hard to beat, and he continuously shocks his opponents.
I love to fight anyway. He a hell of a fighter. I think, honestly, he probably one of the fighters I've been watching the most lately, so I give him his credit as far as skills, his speed, his power, everything is tremendous.
While many question if Inoue's opponents are truly good enough, there's still one thing that is certain. The monster is a dominant force in the boxing world. And the fact that it is so hard for anyone to defeat him really shows that he is miles ahead of any other boxers in his division, and that his reign could be long-lasting, at least until there's another young up-and-comer who is as hungry as Inoue was.